I would add, that even going earlier in the stage, and I think it's particularly germane to the writers in the room, is I think it's important to understand. Distribution has changed to the point where consumption of films is really changing dramatically. You have different base of audiences that are engaged with movies than have engaged with them in the past. And the kinds of films that are working in these new outlets like iTunes and Netflix are very different than what a lot of people think has traditionally worked. And at the same time, this ability to take any, to basically say, here's this collective pool of films. In the past, really, it was new movies would come out, you'd hear about them, you'd go see them in the theater. Today, new films aren't just competing with other new films, they're competing with the entire body of work that exists that's instantly accessible. So I think in that context, it's really important to not just to look in your own ecosystem where you normally buy or watch movies, but also look at the whole breadth and get familiar with what's working and not working. It's one of the things for me that's a very valuable exercise just to stay in touch with what's working is, I literally bookmark every single service that's selling movies online, and a couple times a week or more, you get in touch with what's selling on each one and what's different, and getting a sense for the rhythms. And what will happen is you'll start to see patterns of certain kinds of content that tend to float towards the top. And I think it's important, especially if you're developing projects on spec. Understanding the trends of what people are consuming is critical. Good case in point. I've been happening to notice a heavy success of sort of independent sci-fi projects lately. Even a couple years ago, Moon is one example, but there's a couple films from Magnolia right now that are outperforming large studio pictures across the board on a lot of charts. And I think, the reason why those are working is pretty simple. To me, it's that those kinds of films are cross over a lot of demographics, and frankly, it's an audience that's been underserved because in the independent sector for that type of content. So that's just one example of it's anecdotal evidence of what's going on, but I think it's a good starting point because there's really not a public trove of research that you can tap into. It's more about getting in touch with what's happening right on the ground where people are buying and selling every day.